Hello there, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of the How to Bazaar Flip series. It was kind of tied between a tutorial on craft flips and experimental versus theoretical profit per hour, but I'm just going to be doing the theoretical and experimental profit because it's, I feel like, an easier topic and a little bit more useful than knowing what craft flipping is, so yeah, we're just going to get right onto the bazaar. Alright, so I believe probably the easiest way to explain theoretical versus experimental profit is to show what theoretical is, as experimental is pretty simple. You just do the flip for either, let's say, 20 minutes, then multiply your findings by 3, and that will get you to a 60-minute test. You could do a full 1 hour, you could even do something like 5 hours and divide it by 5, so you can get an average of 5 hours over for 1. But basically, the longer the experimental test, the more accurate it will be. However, what we usually do before going into doing experimental is doing theoretical, and if a theoretical is good enough, I will usually, at least for my own videos, be like, yeah, let's try this now for experimental. And an item that we're going to be choosing here will be hardstone, where we will be by ordering just normal hardstone and then enchanting it up to the enchanted hardstone, which yeah, we're just going to go through the process of how one would kind of calculate a flip like this, and I'm also going to show how to do a book flip, because those are typically shown on my channel, at least. So, when we're looking at hardstone, we can tell that there's 1.2 billion insta-cells in 7 days. So if we wanted to get that down to how many in 1 day, we would take the 1.2 billion and divide it by 7. I actually have a calculator on my desk exclusively for this, but you can use like a web browser, your phone, a tablet. You could do it mentally, you could do it on a piece of paper, I don't care. And that would get the 1.2 billion in 7 days down to 170 mil. I don't know what I'm talking about. 170 mil in 1 day, which we can then divide by 24, as there's 24 hours in a day, which gets us to just over 7 million in 1 hour. Now, there is obviously one more piece to this puzzle, as we do not just get one hardstone to craft into enchanted hardstone. It takes 576 normal hardstone in order to compact it into enchanted hardstone. So once we divide that by how many hardstone we need to craft, we will be able to get around 12,500 hardstone per hour, and that's just how much enchanted hardstone we'll be able to get. And in order to find out the profit, well, we can just see how much would it cost roughly to buy and get one. First off, I'd actually have to put 576, not 96, and that would cost us just about 2.2k. And if we were to even insta-sell, which is usually what I would do for enchanted hardstone, that would be 1.2k profit. So we can now multiply how much profit we're gaining by how many hardstones we're able to craft, which would get us to just about 15 mil in theoretical profit. Now, obviously you can sell offer and do some other things, kind of like, you know, you could target it when it's lower, try and fill up off. That's not important. But that is basically the basis of most kind of buy lower tier and then use a personal compactor to get it up to its next tier, and so on and so forth. And obviously, if we're going to be doing this with something like a book, we could look at the charm book, which there are 9.9k insta-cells, so I might just round that to 10k because I'm too lazy. Divide that by 7, divide it by 24, and I just cleared my calculator like an idiot, so yep, good job me. Then divide it by 24. That'll get us about 60, but because it takes 16 books to make a tier 5, we would actually only be able to get around 3.5 to 4 books, which we could round to either 4 if we want to, you know, inflate our rates a bit, or can drop it down to 3. But as we can see that the price of 16 charm 1 books, as of right now at least, is pretty much nothing compared to the profit, we might as well just say that it's around 6 mil in actual profit per hour. And that's at least the basis of most theoreticals. There are some more difficult kind of calculations you can do, like doing calculations for how many are bought an hour, or, you know, insta-sold. Instabot, because that would correlate to how many sell offers fill, so you can actually see how many coins you would make, not just how much you would be able to hold on you. Because if I have like 20 Dragon Hunter books or something, just because I got 20 of them in an hour doesn't mean I'm making like 50 mil an hour, because there might only be 3 or 4 sells an hour, which means I'm capping out at like 8. So you can do it also for how many instabuys there are, because obviously that's just how many coins you'll actually get back. But if you have a large enough purse to kind of just hold on to a lot of inventory, then it will work out where you do not need to do the sell offer calculations. But I guess that's the kind of end of theoretical explanations. And I mean, experimental doesn't need too much. You just do the flip and then, record your findings. So I guess this is mostly just theoretical. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.